The sun had barely climbed over the horizon when the quiet hum of morning swept through the Wyoming plains. Golden light spilled across the tall grass, stretching for miles until it reached the weathered boards of the McAllister ranch. Inside the main house, steam rolled from the open door of a wooden tub set near the porch. Eli, McAllister's idea of a morning bath. He wasn't much for fancy habits, but after a week of mending fences and driving cattle through dust thick enough to choke a mule, he reckoned he'd earned the luxury. The air smelled of soap, pine, and the first coffee brewing inside. He leaned back in the water, head tipped low, eyes half closed, unaware that his quiet morning was about to be turned upside down. Down the hill, Clara Bennett clutched a basket of linens to her chest as she hurried up the slope toward the ranch house. She'd been in town washing for the McAllisters for 3 months now, saving every penny she could. Her late father had left her little more than an old wagon and a promise that honest work keeps a person steady. The last thing she expected was to trip over a stray plank lying in the tall grass. But life, it seemed, had other plans. Her boot caught, her arms flew wide, and before she could even shout, she tumbled forward, straight, through the open door of the porch, crashing headfirst into the steaming wooden tub. Eli shot upright, water sloshing over the edges. For one frozen moment, the world seemed to stop. A young woman was in his bath, drenched, gasping, and staring at him with wide hazel eyes that flickered between shock and fury. The sound of dripping water filled the silence. Then Clara, mortified beyond words, scrambled to cover herself with the washcloth floating nearby. "Oh, sweet heavens," she stammered, cheeks burning scarlet. "I wasn't looking." Eli blinked once, then twice before a slow grin curved his mouth. "Ma'am," he drawled, voice deep and amused. "If you were aiming for the door, you missed it by a mile." Clara's eyes narrowed, mortification flashing into defiance. "You think this is funny? I could have broken my neck," she snapped, slapping at the water to find her footing. Eli stood and reached out a hand to steady her. "You sure you didn't just come by to steal a man's bath?" he teased. Her glare could have cut glass, but when his calloused hand wrapped gently around hers, pulling her upright, the air shifted. The moment should have been awkward, ridiculous even, but instead it hummed like the earth itself held its breath. Steam rose around them. Sunlight spilled through the doorway, and for a fleeting instant, the Wild West felt softer, almost tender. Clara looked up into his eyes, deep, steady, blue as an unbroken sky, and something inside her trembled. She yanked her hand back and stumbled toward the porch, dripping from head to toe. I'll wash the rest of your things later," she muttered, avoiding his gaze. Eli chuckled, shaking his head as she rushed away, leaving a trail of wet footprints across the boards. "You sure made a splash, miss," he called after her. Clara didn't turn back, but he could see her shoulders tense, the way she clenched her jaw like she was holding back words she didn't dare say. By afternoon, word had already spread across the ranch. Sam, Eli's younger ranch hand, could barely keep a straight face as he carried buckets past the barn. "Heard you caught yourself a bathing partner this morning," he joked. Eli just shot him a look.